Hello, hello. All right, I am a couple minutes early. I'm just going to get situated while I wait. We'll wait for some people to jump on, and I will pull up the video on my computer because, comments never really work on the phone for some reason. Don't know why. But it's easier for me to at least have the computer up, and I have it muted, so that helps. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody had a good holiday. I know it was pretty quiet here for us. We generally just stay home, chill out, hang out. We've been gaming a ton since that was pretty much our Christmas present to ourselves, is our game room. So we did a lot of that. We did adulting things on Friday and Saturday. Yeah. Haircuts, oil changes, things like that. Apparently somebody really loud is playing their music down the street. I don't know. So I'm going to give everybody about a minute or two to jump on, and then we will start. We're going to do Sabbats today. We have quite a few books. I have some here, and then I also have some on my computer that I can go over with you guys. And so we'll go through those. I tried to find books that touched on it a little bit, but I'm actually kind of surprised that some of my books that I have that I would have expected them to touch on them don't. So I don't know. It makes me kind of think maybe I should write a book in the future for all this and make sure I add that in for people who are just starting and beginning, good resources, books to have, apps to use, things like that. Oh my gosh, people are so annoying. Sorry, I keep looking outside because like I said, I can hear this. You guys probably can't hear it because it's not massively loud, but it's loud enough that I can hear it, and it's legit driving me crazy. All right, hold on a second. Let me move this over here so I can actually see the comments. Hello. Angie and I were hanging out earlier today. We were doing some fun Discord stuff. If you don't do Discord much, it can be a pain in the butt. So we were hanging out and doing some of that. And yes, I do have a Halloween cup because I love it. One of the best $85 I've ever spent in my life. All right, so we're gonna head and get started. Oh, that would be a Tech Witch Live. That would be fun. That would be something that a lot of people can do. Yeah, because there's tons of apps that we I use apps. I think Crystal did a post in our clan chat, and she was she asked what our signs were, ascending and all that fun stuff. And somebody was like, oh, I don't know what mine is. And I was thinking, I'm if I didn't have the app that I have, I probably wouldn't know what mine is either. But I'm the same way. I use a lot of apps on my phone. Can't show you because I'm actually on my phone, but I actually do have quite a few apps that I use. There's one that I use for meditation. There's one that I use for just astrology stuff. I use a specific one just to find out about the moon cycles and things like that. So that's a good one. That would be really cool to do a live like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it. So Sabbats, the seasons of the witch, basically, the wheel of the year. So I'm gonna start with one of the first books I ever got, and then I'm gonna get into the big set that I have. The first book I ever got, and I think I mentioned this one during one of our first lives, is The Year of the Witch. And this is a great book for beginner. It's by Temperance Alden, Alden. But it's a really good book. It's very informative. It's very useful. I have used this quite a bit. Let me find one of them that starts. That's Elemental Magic. Hold on. I know that they're in here because I literally have looked them up. I think they're further back. So it has a lot of like other information like the spiritual garden and elemental magic, things like that. Just like other things that you can like look into, local elements and spirits, the origin of the wheel of the year. But it does eventually, here we go, took me forever to find it. It does get into the Sabbats. So like here's what the first page will look like. It'll have what it is. So like this one's for Yule. It'll tell you it's commonly December 21st to January 1st, winter solstice. And then it kind of gives like a little quote. And then as you progress into that specific chapter, it will give you other information about it, like the pagan Yule versus heathen, customs and lore, Odin and a wild hunt, Yuletide traditions, things like that. So it gives you a lot of information, which balls, and then it will just go into the next one. So this is a really good guide if you want something that's quick and easy in just one single book. It would be great for Kindle if you want something that you can take with you and that you don't have to like really flip through a ton. Jeez, I can't speak today. So that one is probably one of my favorites. It's one of the first ones I've ever got. And I do love it. That one, I believe, let me actually check. It's around $14.95. So it's not even that expensive. I don't know how much it is for Kindle, but I can look it up real fast. I should probably know what the title is, considering the fact that I was just speaking about it. It looks like the Kindle price is $9.99. So that's not bad either. That's a pretty good price for Kindle, for a book, you know, like that. 224 pages, so it's not huge. And actually, it was just published in 2020. So this is still a fairly, I would say, new book. You know, it wasn't published in like, you know, 2006 or something like that. So it's fairly new-ish. The major one that I want to get into is one that I've spent quite a bit of money on. I will say this is not cheap, okay? But this is a great resource. So it's all the Sabbats, all of them in color coded, which I love that they're color coded. If you guys know me, you know that I'm very organized, crazy organized person, almost creepy organized. But yeah, so you know, super organized, color coded. They come in this little box, which I love. So let me pull them out. So I do use these. Now, normally I use these during my lives as my phone stand. Obviously, I couldn't use them today. So they're not super thin, but they're not super thick either. Some of them are different widths. But they are all in order. So I'm just going to pull out the Yule one since Yule just passed. And like I said, they're all different colors, which is super awesome. I started buying them individually when I first saw them. Okay, yeah. I was gonna do that. No, you're good. We just started. We just covered the Year of the Witch and how it's a great, you know, quick resource guide just to kind of have. And now we're getting into the big box set that we have. So you can buy them individually, like Angie said, or you can buy them as a box set. Like I said, I just kind of wanted them all because I'm a very like, ooh, when I want this, I really, really want it. Which I know drives my husband crazy for a lot of the time. But, these are really great. It's all about that one Sabbat, and they have tons of stuff in them. They have recipes. They have tarot spreads. So like they have a whole section for recipes and crafts. They have tarot spreads that you can use. Which I think is so super cool. So much information is in these. And I have to admit, I am definitely one to say that I do not use this as much as I probably should. I pull them out. I will pull one book out right before the Sabbath, like I don't know, like a month before. Oh yeah, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna get it done. And then I just sits at my desk and chills and just moves back and forth with all my paperwork. But like I said, they're all color coded. Tarot spreads are, oh my gosh, I have been getting into tarot spreads and oracle spreads lately. Like, I have so many tarot cards on my, well, not so many. I have a good amount for me on my bookshelf that I just don't use. And I need to start using them more. But yes, I do love, like just how great the series is. And like I said, normally I've been using it as my book holder or my phone holder, but couldn't do it today. These are a great, like I said, a great resource. You can buy them as a box set or you can buy them individually. Either way is perfectly fine. There's not one right or wrong way to get this series. I do suggest that if you are, they just don't like the, there we go. If you are going to get it, you know, just, I mean, let me look it up real fast. Let's see. I think, let me look it up. I'm trying to look it up. Okay. Try to pull up the books real fast to see. So the whole set, I don't think I spent this much on mine. Because if I did, I think my husband might have, I would have killed me. Nope. I mean, I did purchase it, but okay. So on Amazon, this whole set is saying it's $70 for the whole set in total. What did I just click on? I know I didn't just add it to my cart by accident. No, okay, I didn't. Whew. It doesn't look like you can buy the whole set as a Kindle, but you might be able to buy them individually on Kindle if you prefer to do that. Let me click on one of the individual ones. You can. So you can buy each individual one. Looks like they're around $9 to $10. Kindle is $8.96. So it's another one of those where the Kindle is almost the same as the other one, you know, et cetera, but not too bad. The price definitely isn't horrible. So that's a plus. I do love it. I love seeing it on my bookshelf. I need to start using it more. I do like how each one has a different symbol on the top of it. And like I said, I love the fact that they're color coded. Just because it makes things prettier for me. I do want to touch on a couple other books that I do have before I get into the ones on Amazon. So some books will actually touch on the Sabbats just a little bit. And like I was mentioning before everybody jumped on, is there are some books that I have that I'm really surprised that they don't touch on the Sabbats more or at all. Like, I know you guys have heard me mention The Witch's Journal. I had to make sure I can read that right. And that doesn't touch on it at all. And I was really surprised because I'm like, that's something that basic, you know, it's the basics. It's things that people should know. Especially coming into the craft or just as a quick guide just to have. So I do like that some books do touch on it, like Buckland's does a little bit. I think I wrote it down, page 97. So let me scroll. So it looks like it's not a lot. It's just a little bit, but it does touch on it ever so slightly. And this is also just another good book to have, just in general, if you want. But it does touch on some of the Sabbats and things like that. And it kind of just goes into a very small paragraph of, hey, this is this is that. Which I think is nice because you can get different opinions, different views from different books. Not every single one is going to be exactly the same, which is totally fine. And that's kind of why we do the book, you know, the book series and things like that, because there's so many different books that have so much information, but not every single person is going to post things exactly the same. Another good one to have, and Angie and I were talking about this earlier, is the Magical Almanac. Now, this is mine from last year because I haven't got mine from this year yet. Well, actually, it's technically this year, but not 2026 yet. This is a great guide. It has so much stuff in there, and it does touch on the Sabbats, but it touches on so much other stuff. It is one of those very handy, very convenient, I do these lives and then I want to buy more books because then I look on Amazon, I'm like, ooh, this is good. So I'm adding all these books to my list. And yeah, I have so many books now. It is such a good one. I'm trying to skip to December. Okay. So, like, it has stuff like this. Like, it'll show you, like, the day and things like that. It's all in the middle of the book. It'll give you some information. But it tells you stuff about each day. If you don't have this book, this is, you know. I appreciate the deity books that share Sabbats, those deities. Yes! Oh my gosh. So, I know next year I want to get into more of the deities and their books and things like that. Because I do have some, like I have some for Hecate, I have some for Gaia and things like that. So I do want to get into some of those. But yes, like I love the fact when they talk about which deities and which Sabbats they share and things like that. Because I feel like those people who work with those could really help them. And you know, maybe you feel connected to one specific Sabbat and you don't know why. That could be the reason why. Those would make some really good lives for some people to do. So some ideas for people. But yeah, so it has like the moon sign and incense and the color and all this stuff. So if you have never bought one of these, I would highly suggest it. Like 100% highly suggest it. Keep it close to you, keep it on your coffee table, keep it in your office. You know, if you have a big enough purse, toss it in your purse. I would love to be able to fit something like this in my purse. I totally cannot because I can barely fit my tarot cards in there. Another thing that I know not a lot of people use, but it kind of goes along with the the Magical Almanac, is the date book. I use a date book to write like lives down and important things. And I usually keep it at my desk because that's where I spend most of my time. But it has like, you know, a full calendar for the month, and then it has like individual days that you can do stuff, but it has all this information that goes into during the Sabbat and things like that. Sorry, my husband just walked by and was staring at me like I'm being weird, which to him I am, because he doesn't. If you ask him, he'll tell you that I cursed him last year, and I don't believe it, but he is hell-bent on it, even though he does not, he supports this, he supports me doing it, but he doesn't believe in all this stuff, but he fully believes that I cursed him last year. It's on my dresser, I reference when I get up every morning. See, and that's a good idea. Put it close to where you're going to be able to see it every single day and be able to reference it every single morning. And I think that's a terrific idea, because I would totally do the same. Although I'm so quick in and out of our bedroom in the morning that I probably wouldn't be able to. That's why I keep it on my desk. And I keep a lot of things in my office. Yeah. You guys probably couldn't hear him, but every time I mentioned cursing him, he was just in the background going, "You did." But yeah, he fully believes that, like 1000%. If he believes in anything, it's that. All right. So let me bring up the fun part, which is going on to Amazon and seeing all the fun things that Amazon has. All right. Let me just move this. So the first one I have is very similar to this one right here. It's very similar to that. It's just a little bit different. They look a little different. But it's by Mari Silva, I think it is. And it looks like it has them all. It looks like they're somewhat color coded as well. Yeah. He's gonna die on that hill, by the way. He'll die on that hill that I cursed him. I can guarantee it. My Amazon cart after your lives is always so ridiculous. It honestly, I fully believe it, because like I said, mine is too. Now this one tells us that the page length is 1063. That's obviously between all of the books. The hardcover version. So this one actually, if you wanted a cheaper version of this one, basically, if you wanted a cheaper version, this would be a slightly cheaper one. It's $42.19 for the hardcovers. For paperbacks, they're $25.24. So that's not bad either. And this actually might be going on to my list because I think it'd be cool just to have some more. So just added it to my list. But it does have, like I said, every single one. I already added something. And it looks very, very interesting. And I believe we've read books by this author before. I'm pretty confident we have. I know I've shared some by this author. And I'm pretty sure I have some. I just don't remember which ones. Now, it tells you that the Kindle is, you can get it on Kindle Unlimited, or it's $9.99 to buy on Kindle. So I'm going to assume that's for the whole set. Which, again, that's not bad at all. That's really, really good. All right. Facebook messages, go away. All right. Here's another one. Sabbats, A Witch's Approach to Living the Old Ways. And then, as you can see, the author is Eden McCoy. 368 pages, which is good for a book. The paperback is $22.06. The Kindle version is $18.95. I like the cover. You guys know me. I'm the type of person that, yes, I will absolutely judge a book by its cover. But I will still read it, even if the cover looks kind of crappy. But this looks like it could be a really good book. Could be a really good resource to have, to keep on your shelf. Can't actually, let me see. If I click the Kindle version. Oh, the Kindle version has a different cover. That's interesting. I heard people do that. I haven't done it. Oh, maybe I have. I don't know. But I've heard people do that. I do like the paperback cover better than the Kindle one. But then again, on Kindle, I'm not really going to see it. So, but yeah, looks pretty good. It does show the Goodreads score, which is 4.0, which is good for a book. So again, could be a good resource. I always like the books that you can actually see inside of them. This one is The Witch's Wheel of the Year. So it's the ultimate guide. Paperback is $15.79. Kindle version is $12.99. So again, not bad. Now it does say that the paperback is on sale from $27.99, so that's kind of interesting. Again, pretty cover. Very simple. Very, very decent. It looks like, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that person's name, but you guys can all see it. I'm going to hold it here for a second. Yeah, I'm not even going to, like I said, try to attempt that one. But this one, you can look inside the cover, so I do like that. Or look inside the book. So it has all the chapters. So it looks like each different Sabbat is a different chapter, which is really cool. Chapter 1 is just the, I guess, Wheel of the Year to kind of do an overview. Gift giving, edible tree charms. That's pretty cool. So this looks like it could be, again, another really cool resource, something to have. It looks like it's only 208 pages, which isn't too bad. This says it's volume 10. So let's find out where the other volumes are and what they are. Dun, 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 dun. So, okay, so like they have the Ultimate Guide to Astrology, which is volume 12. Ultimate Guide to Shamanism, which is volume 11. I don't know what happened to volumes 1 through 9. It's just showing me a whole bunch of volumes afterwards. So it looks like they have tons more books. I'm just really wondering what happened to the other volumes. Like, I just want to know. All right. So let me close that out and go to the next one. So we have Sabbats, The Wisdom of the Wheel of the Year. This one is way more pricier. It doesn't come in Kindle. It only comes in paperback and hardback. Paperback is $32 and hardback is $32. So I don't know. I'm one of those people where if the price is pretty much exactly the same, I'm going to go for the better version, which is going to be a hardback in this case. All we can see is the front cover and the back cover. I do like the front cover. I do think that it doesn't look bad at all. Hi, Ellen. And then the back is just basically, it looks like about the author and about the book. So not a ton there. 178 pages, so it's not a huge book. So for me, I'm kind of like, why is it so much money? But that's just me. It is a very pretty, I do love the cover. It looks really, really nice. And the photo is really, really good. So, but it looks like it was written by Richard C. Hick and then illustrated by Anna J. Gibbons Hick. So, I'm going to assume husband and wife. I could be wrong, but you never know. And all right, here we go. I was like, now this one is a different one. It's by the same ones that do the Magical Almanac, but this one's just for Sabbats, which isn't bad. So it's literally, like I said, just for Sabbats. If you just want to learn about those, or if you just want to follow those. So it goes from basically October 31st of this year all the way through next year. It's a pretty book. It has good information as well. Definitely a Garnier flavor of... Okay. Yeah, I like seeing books in person when they cost a lot. Now, obviously, I spent a lot of money on the Sabbats series, but that's because so many people were like, you have to get this. It is so good. You have to get this. So I was just like, okay, fine, I'll get it. All right, so this one... Isn't it super expensive? You can get on paperback and Kindle. Paperback is $12.82, but the Kindle version is $12.18. For a few cents more, just get the paperback. Unless you are a Kindle fanatic and you only like watching things or seeing things on Kindle, then obviously get the Kindle. I had that one in 2024. Okay, so then you've read that one before. Yeah, I didn't know they had a Sabbats Almanac until I was looking these up, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's just something interesting to have. If you want something like that. It looks like it's 312 pages. So, not a ton. They do have my favorite part. You can see inside the book a little bit, which you all know that I really, really like. Just so I can, I like to get a feel for the book, and actually being able to see a little bit inside of it. It's just a huge, huge perk. Huge perk. And then it makes wanting to buy it even better. Sorry, it's like freezing in my office, so like I feel like I'm sitting outside. So these are kind of cool. It looks like it has some pretty cool information. Might be something that you may want to consider getting. At least 1 year, just to kind of see if you like it. I feel like I could learn information better in physical media Yeah. Yeah, so I really like having the actual book in my hand. Like, I like being able to hold it, to being able to touch it, things like that. But I do like having a Kindle if I need, like, quick information when I'm out and about. Which, I kind of feel like if you buy the paperback version, the Kindle version should be slightly cheaper than normal price. Like, it should just be a little bit cheaper or a discount, so that way you can have both versions. All right, let's go to the next, because I have quite a few up here. So this one I just pulled up for Yule. I'm assuming it's part of a series. But these it stood out. It just looked really cool. So I'm going to pull these up real fast and see. So it looks like, it has specific ones for each Sabbat, and I thought I could look inside of them. Maybe not. But it looks like the hardcover, this is kind of weird. The hardcover is $31.99, but the Kindle's only $10. It's 154 pages. So, not a ton of pages, but yes, the cover is so pretty. And that's what kind of got me, was like, oh, that's a really nice cover. So let me see what they have over here. So they have Yule. Okay, so they do have some of the other ones. They have moon phases. And it looks like all the covers are that same type of style. Sorry, apparently my throat is not happy with me today. I'm looking to see if they have any more, but I'm not seeing any more. Oh, there's a second page. Okay, cool. So that person seems like they have quite a bit of books. But they do have some of the Sabbats, which is really nice. The prices are just kind of weird. you know, like the hardcover is $31.99, but yet the Kindle's only $10 for like. Oh, and I do see the paperback is $22.99. For something like that, I'd probably just get the Kindle. Especially if they don't have the whole series. I'm just the type of person where if you don't have the entire series published, then like fiction books is different. But like for books like this, like I would wait until you get like all of the books and then publish them all. But if you don't have all the books like published, then I'm either going to have to wait for the box set or I'm going to buy them all individually. Yes, like it's so like it looks so, I want to say old school, but yeah, basically old school. Yeah, it looks like they did. Yeah, you're right, because it says August 5th, so I'm hoping that the rest will come out, because that would be really nice. Maybe they're putting them out by each Sabbath, which would be kind of interesting, or getting close to each Sabbath. All right, let's see. Oh, I'll go over that one last. Hold on. Just kidding. Okay, so actually I'm hitting to the end of mine. All right, so this was something I wanted to bring up. These aren't really books, but they're oracle cards. And because we're talking about Sabbats, I figured I would bring these up because I thought these were always so cool. And they always, they always grab my attention. But the Seasons of the Witch tarot and oracle cards, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but they have them for different Sabbats. So they have like Yule, and they have Embolic, and they have they have them all. And it's really, really cool to see these because the cards are really pretty. And like I said, I understand they're not books. They're just kind of an add-on thing that I wanted to mention just because they look so cool and I see them all the time. So it was just really cool to kind of like see something like that. Just kind of pop up. I just put my Yule cards up. I love them. Yes. So like I used to get tarot readings and oracle readings from a friend of mine, and she would always pull from sets like these. And I just, like I said, they always just grab my attention. I love them. So I wanted to at least mention them because I saw them pop up when I was talking about other stuff. All right. So let me move this back over so I can actually see the comments on my actual screen. I was putting it on my laptop screen, which is difficult. I was trying to learn the Sabbats, and it was helpful for that. But I definitely prefer the standard. Yes, I really like the standard almanac. But I might get the Sabbats one just to have it for a year to check it out. I love these decks. I don't own any, but I enjoy using them at rituals. A lot of groups I go to in person bring these for their group. That is really cool. See, I think I like that. And like I said, they just kind of grab my attention every time I see them. I'm like, oh, those are so cool looking. Sorry, my throat is killing me, so I need to get something to drink. So yeah, we covered a lot of books. The coloring book almanac. There's a coloring book almanac. Hold on, now I gotta go look it up. Okay. My fingers are not moving as quickly as I want them to. All right, you're going to have to share that link with me because I cannot find it. Yes, please link it. Because, yeah, I like coloring books. I actually have an app on my phone where I can color. Because I have a phone where I can get like a little pen, a stylus pen out. And, I really like coloring on it sometimes when I'm really bored. Yeah, my cup is massive, by the way. So sorry about that. But yes, we covered a lot of books. There's a ton of books on the Sabbath so we can get. There's so many great ones. And there's just, like I said, it's just, and we come through this every month when we talk about books and stuff like that. There are so many books on so many different subjects. If we got them all, I mean, our bookshelves would be overflowing. Our houses would be overflowing, more than likely. But I feel like some of this information could really, really benefit so many people. Especially with all the different, the different styles that people practice, the different, information, the ways people explain things. We learned this during our book club is we read a book 1 month, and then the next book we read a book, or the next month we read a book, and it connects to the first book, but the information is portrayed so differently that either they go into more detail or they phrase it in a way that's so different. You're like, oh, like I didn't understand it before, but now I do. Or vice versa. Like I really understood this the first time, but I don't understand what they're saying. Yes, coloring can be virtual. It's so nice. Like, and I feel like it's something that people can do to just relax. Just sit. And I mean, it's not just for kids. People talk all the time, oh, it's just for children. No, it's not. We used to have, many of you know this, we used to have 2 little kids staying with us every other week when our friend was living here. And they used to color all the time. And they'd be like, Miss Michelle, can you come color with me? Or Aunt Michelle, can you come color with me? Yes, I can come color with you. And I would sit there and just, show them. Well, first I show them how to color in the lines, not outside of them. But agreed on all the information. Yes, it is. It really, really is. And there's so many different books on so many different things, as we see every single month. I have a good portion of them, but I don't have as many as there are. It's so cool to learn through each author and things like that. And that's something that, as an author, I tell everybody, authors are never in competition with each other, because you may tell a story one way or portray information one way, but another author may do it the same type of subject, but do it differently that may resonate or connect better with another person. Yes, so I just put it back on my shelf. I have House Witch. And I actually looked through it to see if it had anything about the Sabbats, but I didn't see anything like that stood out. But yeah, and just, like I said, all these books are so great to have. That's why I love continuing to get books. I try to get at least a book a month, as long as my husband's like, yeah, that's fine. When it comes to my books, I don't even ask anymore. He just tells me to go ahead and buy it. Just go ahead and buy it. Okay, I see the link now. That's cool. Coloring Book of Shadows. That I really like. Ooh, I'll be saving that. I love House Witch. It's one of my favorites. Looking forward to reading it. So I've never read it. It's another one of those books that sits on my shelf that I've never read. Like I said, I had Psychic Witch for years. And then they're like, oh, we're going to read Psychic Witch. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, maybe I should read it. I have that book. It's already on my bookshelf. Might as well. And that's the way that made me read it, which is another reason why I love the book club. Because, and I'm happy to be a part of, running the book club and things like that. Because it's forcing me to read these books that have been sitting on my bookshelf for years and just staring at me and giving me that sad look of, come on, aren't you going to read me now? Because I do that even with my fiction books. I have so many fiction books I've never read. They just sit on my bookshelf. I still have Black Dagger Brotherhood books that I haven't read fully yet. But I get them because I love the Black Dagger Brotherhood, but I just haven't read them. But yeah, I am looking forward to House Witch. I'm looking forward to, just reading it and stuff like that. Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's really cool that a lot of the books that we're doing for the book club, sorry, I think it's 2 of them. I think it was Of Blood and Bones and the one I'm doing now, which is a cottage witchcraft one. I didn't have those, so I went out and bought them. I also bought The Crooked Path, but I hear it really sucked, so now I'm just like, I don't want to read it. I'm really enjoying it, and I look forward to reading it again with everyone. Yes, oh my gosh, that's one thing I really like. I like hearing other people's perspectives on things, because they may read something that you don't, or they may catch something between the lines, or even not between the lines that you may not catch. I can't tell you how many times I've read books where I would read all the way through it and then I go back read it and I'm like, I didn't know this the first time. Was this in here? Did my book change? But you miss things when you read things the first time, mostly. But, and I'm gonna ask I'm Mark Safe from Brian the Quickman. Oh my gosh, I am so mad that I bought it. Oh, it was our first month. It was September. And I already had Psychic Witch. So I was like, ooh, let me get the other book. Just in case. Thinking to myself, oh, I'll have both. And then afterwards, people were like, it wasn't that good. And I'm like, crap. I'm like, it's too late to give back now. So I'm like, okay, it's just going to sit on my shelf. There's some good things in the Crooked Path and some meh things, like most books. Okay, so it could be worth a read. I think it was it Energy Magic? I think it might have been Energy Magic. There was one chapter, and I know there was one in Psychic Witch too. There was one chapter where I could not get through it. I just sat there and I'm like, what did I read? And then I read it again. I'm like, what did I read? And then I had to read it again. I'm like, I still don't understand anything I just read through here. So I just skipped it. And I just hoped for the best. I always find a PDF first and then I'll buy them after reading. The Crooked Path is based on a specific tradition. I didn't realize that until I was reading it. If you're interested in traditional witchcraft tradition, then okay. So kind of like I have one, it's, I really can't read that far away. Italian folk magic. Cause I am Italian. So I figure, maybe I should read a little bit about it. And it's very, it portrays Italians very well. So I'm interested to, read more about that one. And checking that one out. Things like that. All right. So clicked on the wrong thing. All right. There were positives took away from the Crooked Path. Just a lot that didn't. Okay. So just like a lot of the books, it just really depends on your path. Let me grab it and I will show you. And yes, I am in my pajama pants because it is Sunday and it is not a day for me to be dressed up. But it's Italian folk magic. It's just, like I said, it's just a book that I picked up. It's by Mary Grace. Last name is Fahrun. I started reading it and then I stopped, so I need to start it all over again. But this actually, I think, would be a really cool one for the book club if people wanted to read about Italians. I can wait on some. Okay. I might have to hit you up on that because I am trying to read up more about a lot of that and connections between the two. Before my family passed away, well, most of my family, I wish I would have asked more questions, but I didn't. So, oh, yeah. I wish I would have asked more questions, but I didn't. So I'm kind of like, oh, now I'm like, I really want to learn about all this stuff and I don't have anybody to ask. So I'm like, I'll just read as much as I can. Which is, where my heart lies anyway, is just reading. And then and Angie and I were talking about this morning. I know I've probably mentioned it, that I publish books. So, reading that's why I do the book club, or not the book club, the book series, and why I feel so connected to them, because books are basically my life. I make them, I live around them, I literally love them. I've been reading them since I was little. And I've been writing since I was little too. But I only write fiction, and I'm thinking maybe I might need to expand, because I actually have a PDF somewhere. I have to find it. I might do that tomorrow. There's a PDF that I made, and it was all the basics, like stuff about the Sabbats and herbs that you can use to replace other herbs, and and crystals that you can use for different things, and chakras and things like that. Things that a lot of people ask questions about when they're first starting, that these books don't have all of that information in one. They have it in several different ones. But again, it's one of those things where I may tell something one way, and then Angie may write something to tell it a different way. Doesn't mean either one of us are right or wrong. It just means that we both see it differently. So, actually, I just gave myself an idea. I'm gonna post it later. But I think it'd be really cool. Really, really cool. Ooh, now I'm kind of excited. Okay, so we talked about books. Does anybody have any other Sabbath books that they want to suggest? And then next month, let me go to here. So I was thinking, and you guys can totally change my mind. So these are never set in stone. You guys know that. So for next year, I'm trying to get all my book series ideas situated and ready to roll so that we kind of have an idea. I was thinking about doing deities in January. Not one specifically, just ones that have all of them. You know, just books that have, you know, a whole bunch of information about different deities. I actually have mythology books on my other bookshelf. So, yes, Ellen, I'm really excited, and I think you guys are gonna like this. I think you guys are really gonna like this idea. This is more of a history and background. There's a few folk craft items. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to check out some other ones, because like I said, I'm really trying to get more into the Italian side of things. So I'm really excited about that. Actually, Ellen, that's a really cool idea to use it in one of my fiction books. Because if you guys don't know, I do write paranormal books. And I actually do have a very big series that I'm writing right now called the Darkness series. And I just published the first one in that series. So that would be a really cool idea too. So yes, I was thinking about doing deities in January. And then basically we can expand that. I think helping determine good books on deities instead of, yes, because I was looking at books and I see there's a lot of story books, but not like educational books on deities. But I think that might be something cool to do in January. And then, like I said, if you guys have suggestions, let me know. You all have permission if you want. Send me a message, tag me in the comments if I don't see it right away. If you have suggestions on books, book series, like ideas. Because I have ideas for 5 months for next year. And then all the other months, I have no ideas. So I need more. And I can write down what we've done so far. I think the only one that I didn't get a video or save of, I think was the crystal one. I don't remember. Might have been herbs. Might have to do that one again, but that's not a big deal. I think helping determine good books. Okay. Yep. So, if anybody has any other questions or suggestions, if not, I'm going to let you guys have your Sunday back. This one went a little bit longer than normal, but that's okay because we like talking books here. So, if you guys ever get into the book club, is there a deity encyclopedia? Oh my gosh, now I need to look that up. That would be really cool. That would be really cool because there is a spirit one. I cannot spell today. Oh. So I see the encyclopedia on spirits. There is one on ancient deities. All right. I'm going to have to do some more research on these and see what we can find. Of course. And then, like I said, I'm going to give you guys back your Sunday. And I hope you guys have a lovely New Year's Eve and New Year's Day that's coming up. And then other than that, I think that's it for today. So, thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys next month for some deity talk. If you guys have book suggestions on deities, send them my way. Bye, guys.